Hey, Mike here from Showboys. We're excited to bring you Showboys Gaming, a YouTube channel created for you to enjoy our exclusive gaming content. Anything from live streams to gaming videos will be found here. Go subscribe now so you don't miss out on any Showboys Gaming content.
Too young for this trek. The final frontier. These are the voyages of
MC,
Troy, and Eric.
Their mission to introduce Tyler to strange new episodes.
To seek out the best and worst media in the Star Trek franchise.
To boldly go where several podcasts have probably gone before.
You could listen to these goobers talk about Star Trek by searching for Too Young for This Trek or by visiting probablywork.com.
Hey, Nick from Showboys here, and I want to invite you to become a member of the Showboys Discord. Our Discord is the one-stop shop for all things Showboys, from announcements to fun conversations, and of course, memes. Come get to know the Showboys staff and our growing community of pop culture fanatics. We have something for just about anyone.
Hi, I'm Becca.
And I'm Mike.
And we're the Courtneys.
We're the hosts of a new marriage and relationship centered podcast called Couple Conversations. We're not here to give marriage or relationship advice, but instead we're just going to have some honest and thought-provoking conversations about our relationship.
After 10 years of marriage and the chaos of parenting, business ownership, and being content creators, we thought it was important to focus on dating each other and keep the spark alive in our marriage so when we're old and wrinkly, we still enjoy each other's company.
Each week, we'll be going through a series of questions to have honest conversations about our relationship, as well as occasionally be joined by other couples to hear their stories and advice. We just want to share the things that we've learned along our journey and remind you all to continue to date your spouse.
So join us every other Friday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, beginning October 8th, and join the conversation.
What is up? Oh, and look who joins us in the comments. Holy cow. My name's Mike. Welcome to another episode of Showboys. I am joined by the one and only Chadwick the Third. How are you doing today, Chad?
Doing great. I'm really excited to be here.
Oh, I love the enthusiasm, man. Whew. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I had to do it after last week's comment. I couldn't help it.
Yeah. Yes, and as we saw on the screen there, Nick is with us in spirit and YouTube profile picture. He's abandoned us tonight. No, he's out of town for the holidays. Hope he's having fun. Thank you for tuning in, Nick. It means a lot. But yeah, it's Chad and I tonight. Should be a fun, low key episode. And Nick's chiming in right there about your electric introduction there. The enthusiasm is palpable. But yeah, we got a fun episode tonight. Christmas is in 2 days. So we thought it would be a real fun idea to review the Christmas classic, obviously, Krampus. So we both watched that. I watched it last night. I think Chad watched it today. So we're going to talk about that for a little bit. And then probably, catch each other up on what's watching, get into some Christmas traditions, things like that. But before we do anything else, I wanted to shout out our top tier patrons, Tim B and Yusuf H. Thank you guys so much for your support over on Patreon. It means a lot to us. It really helps us out, helps us cover some of those back end hosting costs. And if you're interested, our Patreon is up on the screen right now, patreon.com/showboyspodcast. You can head over there. We have 4 different tiers full of different perks and rewards and benefits, ranging from cool stickers to bonus Patreon exclusive episodes once a month, to exclusive Discord channels in our Discord, recommending episode topics, and even a chance to appear on an episode of Showboys yourself, talk about something that you want to talk about. So go over there, check it out. Chad and Jordan actually just recorded a lengthy review for Patreon, and I bet that was a fun time.
It was a great time. I had to talk about it, and I was glad that I was able to talk about it. I snuck another watch of it in right before the episode too, so it was really perfect.
Nice. So you saw it twice
so far. Yeah,
very
nice.
Nice.
Probably see it again after Christmas.
Oh, nice. Yeah. We're trying to secure a babysitter to catch it probably Tuesday, if not this Tuesday, maybe next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Real excited for it. I'm glad that you finally got to talk about it with somebody, because I know you were so hyped to watch it, and then afterwards you're like, I need to talk.
Yes. Yeah.
So
I mean, once you see it, I think you'll understand.
Oh yeah, I'm excited. Yeah, so head over. You can check out that episode. We have a couple other episodes up there on Patreon that are interesting too. So if you're able to, go over there, support us. If not, we're just glad that you're able to tune in and listen/watch the episode. Lastly, we do have a merch shop now. The link for the merch shop is in the episode description. Go ahead and check that out. Get some cool Showboys swag.
I do have to point something out real quick.
What's up?
Go ahead.
What's up?
Go ahead and read that comment, and then I need to point something out because I feel like it's the elephant in the room.
Okay. Zovin Studio says, you told me to check this out, so here I am. You find a safe point. I believe he's talking to Biosiv. I was watching Bio's stream right before we came on. He was playing Last of Us 2. And he was over there. He was shouting us out. He's like, hey, guys, I'm about to go end the stream because I got a podcast to watch. And you guys should watch it too. Actually, a couple people from the stream just joined the Discord too. So that was really cool.
Awesome.
Thanks for the shout outs, Bio. And we're glad you're here, Zovin. But yeah, go ahead. What's up?
I just want to say your background is so on point for this episode. Like you went above and beyond today. Like you got a candle, okay? If that wasn't enough fire, then we have a fake fire behind the candle, and then the green lights. It's just beautiful. Man.
And
you really nailed it.
I did green up top, and then I have red down here below.
I do see that.
Last winter, Nick and I. Well, Nick has like an actual fake fireplace that emits heat behind him. You've seen probably in the last couple episodes.
Yeah.
And I don't, and I felt left out, so I would throw a 10-12 hour YouTube video up on the monitor back there.
I dig it. It's really adding to the ambiance, unlike my 2/3 of a blue wall and a black abyss behind me.
Yeah. Man, what I've been we've both actually been working on going back and time stamping old episodes. And the last one I was going through listening to for timestamps, we were talking about your background and like Slender Man being back there or something.
Oh yeah.
So it's kind of funny that it came up again. But yeah, man, the candle, it's always here. Just sometimes it's pushed a little up. I gotta have bourbon.
It's never been visible
pie
before.
Scent.
Ooh,
It's usually up here a little bit, but man, smells so good. We already got a lot of comments already, so let's see. It looks like there's a conversation going on between some of the people there. Yeah, Nick says bio in here networking. What a guy, dude. So true. And then wow, okay, so that's interesting. So the fire emotes in the comments panel that I'm looking at are actually like colored like fire, but when I put them on the screen, they're just white and black. So that's
they're not for me.
They aren't?
They're definitely fire colored.
Have I maybe gone colorblind?
Colorblind, yeah.
You
might want to get that checked out.
I should, dude. There's a lot of things that need to get checked out. Anyways, let's get into the episode here. We've done enough lollygagging. It's already been 11 minutes, I got to work on that. I thought maybe it would be a good idea to talk about Krampus before we talked about the movie that we saw. Maybe explain what Krampus is for those that may not know. So did you know? I'm sure you have, heard of Krampus before the movie, but how familiar with the legend of Krampus were you before we watched this movie?
Yeah, so I previously had done an episode on it, so I was relatively familiar with it back then, but that was a really long time ago. So refresh my small little mind that probably is slowly forgetting the movie I just watched 2 hours ago.
Oh, dude. Well, Krampus is a Central European popular legend, a half goat, half demon monster that punishes misbehaving children at Christmas time. He is the devilish companion of Saint Nicholas. The legend's believed to originated in Germany, of course, and his name derives from the German word Krampen, which means claw. So yeah, there you go. He's Saint Nick's other half.
Yeah, see, this is something that I really wish would pick up in the US because it's just a cool story. Like Santa Claus just needs a villain, It would make it so much more enticing. For real, it would. If there was like the threat of bodily
it's not even
harm.
A villain. It's like yeah, it's they're a team. It's like because on the Wikipedia here it says who during the Christmas season scares children who have misbehaved. Assisting Saint Nicholas, the pair visit children, and Saint Nicholas will reward the well-behaved children, and Krampus will punish them with the birch rods. Which
so that's even darker.
A little
less
severe than what happened in the movie, but
a little bit less severe. But that's dark. Like does so Santa just sits there and watches him whip these guys with these birch sticks while he's giving toys to the other good kids. It's a nice reminder.
Tell you guys, you got to be on the nice list, bro. I did all I could, but now you got to deal with the repercussions.
Your internet's really tripping out right now, by the way.
I know, man. It was lagging when I tried to put a comment up on the screen. I even have my Google Home focusing on my computer, man.
Okay, that's why I wanted to remind you in case you hadn't done that.
Yeah. Thank
you. It's always one of us. It always happens, It's like become a character on the show.
True. It hit Nick.
Oh boy, this is gonna be a rough episode. You're totally frozen. I can't hear anything you're saying. So
awesome. You all done. So apologize for technical difficulties right off the bat here. But hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's go ahead and get. I feel like this is not going well.
It was just, at least on my end, your explanation of it was fantastic because there was only like 2 words that came. You were like, awesome. And then you're like, sorry for tech.
Perfect.
So, yeah. It was
all right. Well,
yeah,
hopefully we can make it through this.
That.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into the movie review. So, what did you think?
Yeah, so I got to be honest with you. I thought I was really going to despise this movie and maybe like halfway pay attention to it through the whole thing because it's just not really my kind of movie, but I think I might have actually loved it. And it's weird because it's a combination of two things that I really don't necessarily like, and that's Christmas movies and cheesy horror movies, which seems like an odd combo to put together for a movie, but it works so well in this. I don't know. I loved it. I loved every minute of it. Like, I mean, there were parts where I was hysterically laughing. I also didn't really I didn't realize that it was maybe more of a comedy than anything.
Yeah.
So, I think I probably enjoyed it a little bit better not knowing that because I was laughing when I was not expecting to be laughing. But, I mean, it's super short. It's like a quick little Christmas Eve movie,
Yeah, it's exactly. It's more comedy than horror, and horror is very campy, to say the least. Not really like scary, more so like, I don't know, creature feature ish.
Yeah.
So talking about, of course, the 2015 Krampus movie that stars Adam Scott. Actually, the cast is pretty good. If you look through the names here, you got Adam Scott, you got Toni Collette, who has been in quite a few horror movies. I think, she was in Hereditary, Sixth Sense. She's been in a ton of things, but that was Adam Scott's wife in the movie. We have David Pochner, who played Howard, and I feel like, is perfectly typecast in like everything that he's in. He plays like the same goofy hillbilly character. He was Champ Kind in the Anchorman movies. He's also been in a ton of things. Super funny in everything that he's in. But I was very surprised to see Allison Tolman, who played Linda, the young aunt. I really enjoy her. She was in Fargo season 2. She was like the main-ish character in that season. I thought she was great in Krampus. She was awesome in Fargo. See her up there, I recognized, and I couldn't remember why. And looking at her IMDb last night while I was watching the movie, she played in Messiah, which is a show that Nick and I watched, that Nick, turned me on to. She was in Sweet Tooth, which, just came out 2021, early 2021 here. So she's been, popping up in things. So
I really wanted to watch that. I couldn't
quite put my finger on it last night while I was watching it. It's really good. I really,
it looks
really
good.
It. But yeah, Krampus. I'll read the little synopsis here for you guys if you haven't seen it. When his dysfunctional family clashes over the young Max gets delusioned and turns his back on Christmas. Meanwhile, the lack of festive spirit unleashes the wrath of Krampus, the unbelievers. All hell as beloved holiday icons take on a monstrous life of their own, laying siege to the fractured family's home and forcing them to fight for one another if they hope to survive. Like you said, Chad, there were a lot of moments in this movie where I was like laughing out loud.
Yeah.
I mean,
the whole opening scene, the like Black Friday shopping was hilarious. Literally the entire thing, where the security guards are like tasing the people, and and then after that, the like cousins intro to the house is hilarious too, where they're like rattling the entire neighborhood with their truck.
Yeah.
I mean, I was laughing a lot more than I thought I was going to be in this movie, for sure.
Yeah. I sent you guys a text last night in our group text that I caught a lot of flack for, but like I said in the text, after you watch Krampus, you'll understand. And I was crying when you text me earlier. You're like, "Oh, I understand your text now." Find out. I can't even find it in here. Oh shoot. I don't even know. Oh, what are you now? A Jew? Something like that? And
yeah.
I got canceled in our group text. But
okay, well let's give a little background to this real quick, because it was literally 10 o'clock at night. There was no context to it whatsoever. It wasn't like, hey, great quote, funny quote I just heard. It was just the quote from the movie. No context. The text before that had nothing to do with it whatsoever. Like, you couldn't even tie them back to the original, the last text if you tried. So
was there even a last text? Like,
yeah, there was, because it was the group message. But the last text had literally nothing. It was hours before.
Okay. Yeah.
I mean, it was definitely it was great.
I don't know if there was like a conversation going on, or if I just like was randomly like,
no, just out of the blue. The last text here, the last text was at 12:58 p.m. and then you came in at 10:03 p.m. 10 hours later with just a random out of nowhere text.
Nick says I should pop on so I can show off my Xmas. Do it, bro. We got a spot here for you. And then he also says, I'm new. What's this show about? Nothing. Terrible. It's a terrible. I don't even know why you're here. Underfunded says, I'm out here trying to fish in the girls' noggins, keep up with Amber calling, and Bio telling me to meet devs. You out here with pop quizzes as a spy. I'm chat. Wow. Unbelievable, these guys. Just out here sad with the chat, but we love you. So yeah. I thought the opening's great. After you pan through the slow motion Black Friday chaos, there's like a Christmas play happening in the store, which I thought was kind of funny, just in general. Yeah. But not only that, but there's like Max, the main character, is like pummeling some other kid. He's like on top of him, punching him, which is great. And Beth, his sister, is just there with her phone, like, I don't know why I'm holding this bunny rabbit toy, but I always do. But she's like recording it and with a big old smile on her face. Yeah, it's great. The family dysfunction, is very reminiscent of Home Alone, something like that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Everyone treats Max, similar to Kevin, just as like a giant piece of worthless garbage. And he kind of snaps, and the breaking point for Max, he had written a letter to Santa that his cousins, which those the sisters are great. They're like literally look like dudes, and he even says that in the Christmas letter to Santa. He's like, we all know Uncle Howard is
yeah.
But yeah, they steal his Christmas letter and read it out loud in front of the entire family, and it really embarrasses Max there, because he doesn't he's like the only one that still believes in Santa. In his humiliation, he rips up his letter in his room and throws it away, and that is what summons Krampus to the neighborhood there. And then all kinds of Krampusy chaos ensues, and it's just a fun, campy creature feature. At least that's how I saw it. Yeah. What did you think of some of the supporting cast, like the family members?
I thought they were all great. I thought they were all great. The dysfunctional family thing is it's perfect for a movie like this. But probably my favorite is the little fat brother, just because he's like, there's just nothing to him. He just wants to eat, and there's like there's just nothing going on. And behind, you can see he's just got like a blank stare, and he's just worried about food.
Yeah.
And
chugging one like of the scenes, 2 liter of Mountain Dew.
Yeah. And then like they're all fighting at the table, and he's just sitting there like looking at his chicken, eating it. I thought it was hilarious. And then he ends
and
up.
He's just eating like a mini chicken on
a
skewer.
Literal. Yeah. It's like. So I really, for being such a small character that I literally don't even think has a line in the movie, I thought he was hilarious. But I mean, he's probably my favorite, but my main favorite is the uncle, who's just like a redneck, like carries guns to the Christmas party. And, I thought the characters were great, man. I'm not going to lie. The whole movie is very campy. You're not lying, but it's worth a watch, especially, a couple days before Christmas.
Yeah. Jordan says, sorry, I couldn't make it tonight, guys. He was supposed to join us to talk about Krampus, and he recently watched A Boy Called Christmas. He was going to tell us his thoughts on. He got consumed in the
Christmas rush,
Christmas festivity. And thank you for being here for chat. But he says, hope you enjoyed Krampus. Watch out for the gingerbread man. So true. Actually, I thought of that while watching this. I was like, wow, this is what Gary Busey probably wishes the gingerbread man turned out like.
Right.
Which if you remember that short segment that we talked about a few episodes ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically Krampus comes to the neighborhood, which, by the way, probably should have said this from the start, but we're going to talk about the movie in depth, so there's probably going to be spoilers. I mean, the movie's 6 years old, so
yeah. So if you haven't watched it yet, maybe you should just stay and listen, because you're probably not going to. So
yeah. But yeah, Krampus comes to the neighborhood by way of a thunderous blizzard, which I was like, why is it lightning and thundering during a blizzard?
Right.
I mean, I live in Ohio. I've never had a thunderstorm blizzard before, but
does it happen?
I don't know.
I feel like it can't happen. Like,
I don't think it can either.
I don't think it can, but I would love to see one if it does somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know, man. But this big blizzard rolls through the town there and kind of snows everyone in. And of course, Beth needs to go, check on her boyfriend who lives like 4 houses down. So, but before that happens, Max notices, maybe it's before or shortly after she leaves to go check on her boyfriend, he notices a very creepy snowman appear in their yard out of nowhere, which
yes.
I really enjoyed that part of the movie. Throughout the movie, just see these creepy snowmen keep appearing in their yard. And they were really, really interesting looking. I really enjoyed
They're
that.
very creepy. They're very creepy looking for sure. They add to the ambiance because it's like a complete whiteout outside, and then these things are just creeping in the yard. I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah. They just keep showing up.
Yeah.
Says, I'm here for the spoilers because I didn't know what Krampus was. Well, hey, we got you, bro. And Biosiv, very important comment here. He says, dude, y'all don't remember the red lightning blizzard like 8 years ago? I do not.
So,
and, he said totally serious, by the way.
Yeah, and I'm glad you put that in there because I was about to call you out for not being serious because that sounds like something out of Lord of the Rings, not real life. but I'll give it to you. If you're being serious, I'm here for it. But no, I don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to look that up because that sounds pretty gnarly. But I don't remember that. 8 years ago. That's 2013. I should remember that, but I don't.
I don't remember even living through a blizzard, to be honest with you. I mean, I'm sure they've been here, but I just don't remember them.
So my internet just really cut out there, and I did not hear word you said. Yeah. I have no idea what's going on with my internet tonight. I'm sorry.
You're good, man. I said I don't remember living through a blizzard, period. Let alone the one that happened 8 years ago.
Blizzard is a term that we don't really get in our area very often. We live like just outside of the snow belt in Northeast Ohio. So like we just kind of get the tail end
boring
leftovers
stuff
of the storms. Yeah.
Right.
Which, can I just say this real quick? I'm really sad that we're not going to have snow on Christmas this year. It's supposed to be like 50s and raining.
So here's the thing with that. At least in my memory, outside of last year, I can't remember the last time before then that it snowed on Christmas. It's not a very. I feel like it happened quite a bit, maybe when we were kids, but not so much anymore that I can remember. That's why last year was such a treat because it never happens.
Yeah, it was super nice last year. It's that dang global warming, I tell you.
Yeah, right.
But anyway, so creepy snowmen start appearing. Beth leaves to go check on her boyfriend 4 houses down the road, which as a father, I know Beth is like a teenager. It's a blizzard.
Yeah.
Why are you just going to let her go?
Yeah, not happening.
Yeah. Like, you could barely walk outside. It's freezing cold. There's no power or anything in the neighborhood. You're just going to be like, all right, yeah, see you later. Have fun. Hopefully you don't, die to the elements or whatever, get hit by a car that goes careening off the roads. Anyways, a little side tangent there, but she goes to check on the boyfriend, and runs into the Krampus. And she is claimed as the first victim by a Jack-in-the-Box tremor. That's like later when Adam Scott and the uncle are out there getting chased by the Jack-in-the-Box under the snow, all I could think about was Tremors. Do you remember that movie with Kevin Bacon, the giant sandworms?
Yeah, I really liked this entire sequence, like right from when she steps outside and she sees like Krampus up on the houses and stuff. It was one of the few. I mean, there were several parts of the movie that felt really super creepy, but this was like the first one where I was like, oh man, at least they did a good job with Krampus in this movie. I think. I mean, you'd be pretty hard fought to make a half demon, half goat and screw it up. So it's not like they were going to screw it up, the creepiness level of it. So.
Yeah, they. I really liked the design of Krampus. He looked really, really cool. Yeah, for sure. Especially from far away. Like, I think I want to say like the cover shot or like the movie poster here is it's of Krampus on top of the house, and it's just like an iconic shot there. And it was really cool. She spots him on the roof, and he just starts like jumping from house to house. She hides under a car, and he just walks around the car, obviously, and sticks the little Jack-in-the-Box there, and the old Jack-in-the-Box snake tremor wannabe meets her, and that's what exactly happens next. There, the rest of the movie from Beth's demise onward is kind of starts to get chaotic as stuff starts to really like happen a lot at once. The family gets worried Beth isn't back, so the dad and uncle go out looking for her, and they see that kind of the whole town is just empty, and they run into the snowplow truck that's empty with the glass broken in, and they decide to go check in Beth's boyfriend's house, which is also empty and just kind of disheveled and in ruins, kind of, because Krampus had been there. They get chased by the Jack-in-the-Box tremor through the snow. It bites the uncle. They make it back to the house, and everyone's like, what the heck is going on? Let's see. Let's check in on some comments here, by the way. Underfunded said, dude, the December tornadoes blowing my mind, and people say global warming is fake. Not here to get into the politics of that, but yes, there were some pretty rowdy tornadoes that just blew through Underfunded's neck of the woods, and glad to know that you're safe, because there were some rowdy storms there. So yeah, stay safe, my dude. Biosif says, may not have been 8 years exactly, but my friend Steph worked at a marathon on the corner of Trapehagen and Wales, the power got knocked out, and I stopped in to visit her because the power was out.
Like, Bio, I'm impressed with your memory of 8 years ago.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you a single thing I did 8 years ago. You'd be hard fought to get 6 months out of me, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Nick says, I think I know that Akron version of that storm, by the way. Wow. All right. Maybe I'll throw this comment. There we go. Zovin says, I hope I'm saying that right. Zovin Studio says, that would have been like 12 or 13 years ago. P.S. I was plowing snow for 72 hours straight and that up in Stowe, and that was a wicked crazy storm. Dang, dude, how do I not know about this storm? Nick says I was living in the valley at the time, right before I moved down here to the sunny south.
I mean, don't feel bad because I don't remember the storm either, but it's like not something that I would remember because I'm pretty sure I just have like a total blackout through winter and don't remember much of anything because I'm so miserable and I want it to be warm out. I don't really care about the storms that come through. So
right. And then, Bio asked Nick if he remembers the storm then, and Nick says, yeah, wrecked shop like colon cancer. Classic. But yeah, so the uncle and the dad get back into the house. Uncle's leg's all torn up. He's bleeding everywhere. And the dad is using probably his Eagle Scout first aid skills to bandage the uncle. And they decide to kind of break the news to the kids, like, hey, there's this crazy thing going on. I don't know, we might die. Let's not go outside anymore and lock up the house. So they kind of shelter themselves in the house. Oh, during this adventure outside, the uncle's Hummer also gets completely destroyed. So they have like, the way that they thought they had out of this, treacherous snowstorm was the giant Hummer, but it got destroyed. So they're kind of marooned here at the house. They tell the family what's going on. They kind of all camp in the living room there, and Krampus like assaults the house with his many goons, I'll call them. But it was really interesting. They have killer gingerbread men, which was fun.
Fantastic. Yeah, fantastic.
There's the really, really creepy Jack-in-the-Box snake that just kind of eats everything. There's the angel Christmas tree topper that comes to life and is like some crazy murderous demon decoration. And then we have like a teddy bear that has insane teeth and is chomping away. And then Krampus also has a gang of really creepy elves, they call them, I believe, in the movie. The whole time all this is going on, by the way, Ami is the only one that knows what's going on, the grandma in the house.
That was actually one of my favorite parts of the movie, was the kind of animated, which I think is around this time. Yeah. The animated sequence where she tells the story of Krampus visiting her family when she was younger.
Yeah.
I always like that for whatever reason. I don't really know why. I always like when there's like a quick little animated section in movies. Mm-hmm. But I do want to point out that all the monster designs are like, I don't want to say brilliant, but they're all really well thought out. Like, especially the angel topper demon thing. And the gingerbread men are like the horrifying comedy relief for the movie, at least the portions that they're in the movie. Mm-hmm. And then the like elves are just horrifying looking. Like there's one wearing like a plague doctor mask, and those, for whatever reason, those masks really creep me out. Like I don't know where it comes from or what, but and so I always enjoy seeing plague doctors and various different things.
I forget exactly where, like what region they come from. I want to say somewhere in Italy or around Italy, I think.
I could plague totally doctors?
Be wrong. Yeah, the long like beaked mask.
Yeah,
because they kind of like marooned all of their sick people on this like island or whatever.
Yes.
And the doctors that would go there would wear those masks and shove incense and stuff in there that they thought would like keep them healthy or whatever. So that's kind of
that
like
actually
the backstory on that.
I think Ryan picked that for his like number one haunted location on the episode that we did, and I can't remember what the name of it is, but yes, it is an island.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't remember necessarily if it's in Italy. It could be.
I think it's somewhere that way. Biosip says, just noticed Mike thinks he's funny with his fireplace in the background. Well, sir, this was a tradition we started last year, so I could, keep up with Nick, who has like an actual fireplace.
It's probably what's killing your internet right now. Hey, zinger.
Probably. Yeah, I do think I'm slick. What are you gonna do about it? And then poor underfunded. I thought it was real, Mike. They're like the kids that ruined Santa. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. You got to watch out with these guys. But yeah, I really like how the grandma there is just low key, like she's like, we got to keep the fire hot, can't let the fire go out, so you can't come down the chimney. She knew what was going on the whole time. She does tell the story of Krampus to like fill everyone in. In her village back in the day, everyone was bad and fighting with each other. So, Krampus came and punished everyone and basically killed everyone. And she was the only survivor that they let go so that she could tell other people about Krampus, apparently. So she fills in the family. And I do really appreciate that part too, like you're saying though, how it turns animated in that little section, and it's really cool. It's kind of like stop motion.
Yeah, almost like clay
like
animation.
A little bit of claymation in there, and the part that wasn't claymation kind of just looked like cutouts, like being held and moved around. I really liked the look of it. It turned out really great. Yeah, so she actually has an ornament that says like Krampus on it or something. But before we get much further into, I also want to appreciate the like practical costumes and effects that are used in this. I mean, obviously the gingerbread men are CGI, but like all of Krampus's angels, most of Krampus himself, the teddy bear, the angel on the tree, like if they weren't practical, like physical props and effects and stuff, they looked very real. And like
I think
I'll take that over CGI any day.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, definitely. I think even, I mean, the movie came out in 2015. I would think they had to be practical. I don't think they could have looked that good. Although there are times in the movie when Krampus is very obviously CGI and he still looks really, really good.
Yeah.
So it could be the gingerbread man. I thought were maybe the only CGI thing in the movie because they kind of stood out a little bit, but they were still, I still enjoyed them when they were on the screen, especially with my little fat boy and them coming down the fireplace and him like grabbing him and biting his head.
Fishing for the fatty. I love it.
And
he's like, hey.
Yeah, he like screams and then runs away. I thought it was hilarious. So yeah, I love the gingerbread man. The CGI could have probably done a little bit better on him, but
yeah. I back to that kid, that brother. I just love the deadpan mouth breathing facial expression he has in every scene. He's just like
yeah, that's what makes him, man. He's just lifeless.
Such a great character. I love that.
Especially right when he walks in the house and the I can't remember the little kid's name, but he's trying to talk
like
to
asking
him
all questions.
Yeah,
and he's just like
he just doesn't say anything. Yeah,
he's got like a can of Pringles in his backpack, like a water bottle slot. I love it. And the dad even comments on that about he's like trying to build him into a lineman for football or something.
He's gonna be the biggest lineman in the state.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Yeah, man. But yeah, so the family fights off all the little minions of Krampus. Obviously, the soulless boy gets taken away and is gone. One of the two girl boys is eaten by the Jack-in-the-Box snake, which, by the way, I loved the like mouth they used on that, like how it like opened up like all weird to the side, and like the mouth for the Jack in the Box was really like scary, and scary in the terms of this movie, which isn't very scary, but I thought they really did a good job of making that very monstrous, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, I agree with that.
So up to this point, Beth, soulless boy wonder, and one of the twin sisters, I don't even know if they're twin sisters, I'm just going to call them twin sisters, are the only casualties, right? Up to this point.
Yes.
And then this is where like all hell breaks loose. They decide to they devise a plan to walk to the plow truck and then come back to the house and then plow a path that another car can follow behind, and then just drive away. Try to outrun Krampus. But before they can do that, the house is invaded by Krampus's elves, and they take the old aunt, the old crazy aunt, which always cracked. She was hilarious. I loved that.
Yeah.
They take the little baby, which is sad. And then the uncle like jumps on like a bag or something and goes with him because he wants to save his daughter, which so what a heroic redemptive moment for the hillbilly uncle there.
Yeah, it really is. Yep.
So now we're left with mom, dad, Max, one of the cousin's sisters, the young aunt, and they try to make it to the snowplow on foot, and one by one they are picked off by the Jack in the Box tremor snake under the snow, with the dad heroically sacrificing himself so the rest can get to the plow, but only Max and his cousin make it. The mom also gets eaten there at the end.
So the aunt gets eaten and then the mom gets eaten. So the dad's sacrifice didn't do much of anything except for get kids to the vehicle that they don't know how to drive. So
they're like in middle school, so how are they going to drive a snowplow? Because I mean, remember when we worked back at the car dealership, Chad?
Oh yeah.
And we would have to, I don't know if did you ever plow the lot?
Yeah.
Okay, so we had like a super old F-150 or something, like super old, that they slapped a plow on top of, or like in the front of. And just driving that regular pickup truck with a snowplow was really difficult. I couldn't imagine trying to drive like an actual like Department of Transportation snowplow truck.
Yeah, that's that plow truck sucked to drive.
Dude,
I'm not sure that
things with that.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not sure that ours, because we have one at Greentown, which is like an F-250, I think, with a plow on it. It's a little bit better to drive, but they're still hard to drive no matter what it is because you're plowing. So driving that big giant thing, I can't imagine it be. I probably couldn't even figure out how to do it, let alone the little kids that just got in there. And
like a 13-year-old.
Who's terrified.
Yeah, so Max and his cousin are in the plow truck there, and they get just overwhelmed by the elves. And the cousin gets they kind of both get taken, and Krampus shows up, and then all of a sudden this like pit to hell just opens up in the middle of their neighborhood there, and Max is pleading with Krampus, like, take me instead of her, because it's like kind of the whole theme of the movie, or what they explain Christmas as is kind of like making sacrifices for others, putting others above yourself kind of deal. So this is the moment where Max learns that and is, trying to live that out. And he's pleading in front of Krampus, like, no, don't throw her in the pit. Like, take me instead. And I thought this was hilarious. They all just laugh at Max.
Yeah.
And then throw them both in the pit.
Yep.
I loved it. I was like, because I don't mind like the happy endings, right? But I'm always like, oh man, I really hope they go for just like, just do the bad ending. And this one they did, and it was perfect.
It's great. It's great because you don't see it coming. You think that he's going to, have a happy ending, and then it just ends in the worst possible way.
Yeah, I loved. Not only did they throw them in the pit, but I loved that they all laughed at him. Like that part was just
right.
they just all kind of like look at each other. And they just start laughing hysterically. Yeah. They drop the cousin in, and Max is like, "No!" And then Krampus grabs him by his head and
drops
throws him in the pit.
It's fantastic. And then I think in this scene, did they have like some sort of reindeer too? Like some sort of demonic reindeers?
Yeah, they looked like big, like hairy yaks.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he even has like a crazy demon sleigh that they're pulling. Like, I loved the visuals in this movie. Like all the evil Krampus like crew designs, super cool.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so Max and his cousin get thrown in the pit, and the screen kind of goes white, and then you're back into Max's room, and he wakes up like he woke up from a bad dream. And I'm like, is this what we're doing here?
Same thing. I felt the same way.
So he goes downstairs, and it's Christmas morning, and the whole family's there, and everyone's, getting along, handing each other presents, opening stuff. And is it Max? Somebody gets the Krampus ornament, right?
Yes.
And they all just kind of like look at each other like, oh. And then the camera, like, they all just get like a very gloomy, dreadful look on their face. The camera pans out, and it turns out they're all just in a snow globe in Krampus's lair full of other snow globes where all of his other presumed victims now reside for all of eternity, I would guess. Which, if you saw the thumbnail art before the episode went live, which is behind us now, it's Krampus
you can
grabbing a snow globe.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Nick crushed the thumbnail. And I gotta say, he had like a second thumbnail that he was trying to decide between this one and the other one. The other one, we both agreed, we're like, dude, the other one is like so fire, but it's like it's a picture of like the folklore Krampus and not like the movie Krampus. So that's why we use this one. This one turned out really, really well, but the other one, so good. But we just couldn't use it because it had nothing to do with the movie. So
he did a good job with it for sure. He's definitely far better than I would ever be, because Jordan and I recorded that Spider-Man episode, and I was like, I'm gonna try to make a Spider-Man thing. I got like 5 minutes to do it. I'm like, okay, I'm just gonna leave the Showboys thing up there. It kind of looks like a spider web behind us. It will kind of look like a spider
web. Underfun, it says, aren't we all trying to get overwhelmed by some elves? Am I right? Well, you don't want to be overwhelmed by these elves. Let me tell you that.
Those elves, yeah.
So that's kind of the synopsis of the movie, or not the synopsis. That's the movie, with some details left out. But so overall, let's do this. Like, what are your what's Chad's stamp on this movie?
Yeah, so initially, before I turned this movie on, I had to rent it, which I was like overtly annoyed about. And then
did you do it on Prime?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe I did it on Prime.
Because I did it on Prime, and it was only like $1.99 instead of like $3.99. And I was like, score, dude. They had like a discount when I did it.
Yeah,
so, that's interesting. I probably should have told you that.
Yeah, I can't remember what I did, to be honest with you. Like I said,
apologize.
2 hours ago, and the memories of it are fading. But so I went into this movie thinking that it was not going to get anywhere near a stamp of approval from me. But I'll give it a solid 7 out of 10 for a Christmas horror movie. Now, granted, there's probably not that many Christmas horror movies out there, but even like watching the trailer for this, I was like, the trailer's just not very good. They just didn't do a good job with the trailer. Maybe that's what it is. Because I was like, oh man, this is gonna be brutal. But I was like legitimately impressed with everything that I saw. I thought it was far funnier than I was expecting it to be. It was scarier than I was expecting it to be at times. The designs of all the monsters and elves and all that stuff was fantastic. And it's just got a cool, like, cheery, even though it's a horror movie, it's got like a cool, cheery Christmas vibe to it. It's really weird. I don't know how to explain it. But yeah, I would stamp it as a, maybe not a must watch, but a, hey, maybe watch this during the holidays.
Yeah. That's a good little review there. Which is funny because on IMDb it got a 6.2 out of 10. So you're right around where most people are giving it rating wise. 70,000 reviews. Give it averages out 6.2. So I would say I probably fall right in line there, like a 6 or a 7 out of 10. Obviously, you have to go into the movie knowing kind of what it is, and that is a campy horror comedy Christmas movie. So don't think you're going to see like a straight up horror movie. It's not scary. It's like tense at times. It is a monster movie. I never really found monster movies to be scary in the first place. Even the ones that try to be scary. But it is a lot, like you said, it's a lot funnier than I thought it was going to be. I thought it was going to be more on the horror side with a little comedy sprinkled in, but it kind of was, I would say maybe 50-50 horror comedy, maybe slightly 60-40 towards comedy. Adam Scott was good in it. The cast is really good. I laughed a lot. The visual, like I said, as we were going through the happenings of the movie, really good. I love the practical effects, if they truly are practical effects, costume wise. I would say if you're running out of Christmas movies to watch or looking for a fun, different Christmas movie to add to your Christmas movie watching routine every year, this would be a fun one. I know Jordan said last time he was on that they watch this every year, which, I really enjoyed. I have a few off the beaten path Christmas movies that I'm going to start throwing into my yearly rotation that I'll tell you about, Chad, after we're done here. But this could be one that gets added to the rotation there. It's a fun watch. Definitely. So it probably would be. I watched it alone, but it probably would be fun to watch with a friend or your significant other. But yeah, I would recommend it if you're into different Christmas movies or things of that nature. So as far as the other unique Christmas movies, I'll call them, that I'm adding to my yearly watch, we talked about Fatman before. We watched the trailer, so you remember that, the Mel Gibson one. That actually, I was just asking my wife today, like when we were going to watch it. We have to watch it tomorrow. We're running out of time. But that after watching it last year, I'm like, this has to be seen every Christmas. It's such a great Christmas movie. Other than that, I watched Anna and the Apocalypse last year. Which, have you heard of that movie before?
I have not. Doesn't sound like a Christmas movie, but
yeah, I'm conflicted right now because should we throw the trailer on? The reason I'm conflicted is because I think this movie is great if you go into it not really knowing anything about it, so you can just be blown away by what it is. But also, I kind of want to throw the trailer up, but I don't. I feel like, I don't know.
Throw it up. Throw it up. I mean,
all right. Let me just give you. Describe it in
idea.
like a sentence, and then if you want to still see the trailer, we'll throw it up. But it is a Christmas zombie movie.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
All right, we're gonna throw the trailer up.
Yeah. Let's start up.
Now let me say this too. I made a new friend at the beginning of last year, maybe tail end of 2019. I can't remember. But a friend in the neighborhood, our daughters went to school together. They just moved to Columbus. We've talked about him before on the podcast. But our families became close. I'd go over there. He'd come over here. We'd watch the Browns all the time. He's a big movie fan. So I was like, hey, you want a different movie to watch? It was the first movie I ever recommended to him. And probably the last that he'll ever like take from me. I'm like, if you want a different Christmas movie to watch, you guys should watch Anna and the Apocalypse. And he's like, okay. And then they threw it on, and he like was texting me during it. And he's like, I don't know. He did it in the nicest way possible. He's like, I don't know about this one, man. And I'm like, great. He's never gonna listen to me again.
Yeah, I've never heard of it. Never heard of it.
It's so it's so good. Let me
Is it like Shaun of the Dead style zombie movie? Zombieland, or is it?
You'll see.
Okay.
All right. Oh, hold on. I gotta make sure I get the audio. Okay. So here it is. This is the trailer for Anna and the Apocalypse.
'Twas the night before Christmas, and all through the house, not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. Young Anna was nestled, all snug in her bed, not knowing tomorrow she'd meet the undead. How would she survive what the seasons bring? Well, that's simple. She'd stab, she'd slash, and she'd sing. A time to be alive. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive. What a time to be alive.
Oh no.
What?
Justin Bieber's a zombie.
Yeah, I mean, I might be on board, man, because I love a good zombie movie, and then B, I love like zombie parody movies like Zombieland and Shaun of the Dead, and it's really got that vibe to it. And then you throw in the Christmas mix, I might be into it, and it's free on like Tubi or something right now, I think.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the word flash on the screen due to my obscene internet tonight. But not only is it a Christmas movie, not only is it a zombie movie, but it's a musical.
Yeah. I gathered that when I saw the thing for Shaun of the Dead meets La La Land. I was like, okay. It's an odd combo, but okay.
Yes. Yeah, it's great. I loved it. My wife, which I made watch with me, and told her, but she hated it. She's like, I'm never watching another movie with you again, which I feel like she says like every other movie that we watch together. But she still watches them. She has no choice. But yeah, those two, throw Krampus in that pile, and I think that's a good trifecta of different Christmas movies.
Yeah, I mean, I don't venture into musical territory very often, but for a zombie Christmas movie, I might have to jump on board with it. Although I have seen La La Land, because I'm like relatively obsessed with anything Los Angeles, so like you could give me like any terrible movie that takes place in Los Angeles and I'm on board. And then B, it was like getting a ridiculous amount of awards and stuff when it came out. And I really like Ryan Gosling. So I was like, yeah, you know what? Whatever, I'll watch it. And I didn't hate it. I mean, I certainly didn't like it. I'm not a musical guy, but it's not the worst movie I've ever seen.
Nice. Underfunded says Krampus gets a 2 thumbs over medium.
Yeah, I love that.
Maybe over easy if you get toast.
I do, not to totally derail this episode real quick, but have you ever seen the movie Drive with Ryan Gosling?
No.
Okay. Yeah, you need to watch that movie. It's a great movie. Sorry. Ryan Gosling sparked my memory of it.
Underfunded says, bro, it actually looks good though. Bio ended up looking up and watching the trailer because my internet's so bad. He said, musical, never mind. Give it a shot, man. It's good. And the songs are actually pretty catchy. Underfunded says, totally had the Zombieland Shaun of the Dead vibe. Totally. And then you just add musical into that mix. Bam. He says, I love musicals. Singing in the Rain is legit one of my favorite movies of all time. Nice. I actually low-key love the movie Rent.
Interesting. I've never seen Rent.
Yeah, it's pretty good. And then Biosip says, nah, best musical I've ever seen was Moulin Rouge. Like, just kidding. I don't know. He says, Drive was a badass flick. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Drive, man.
Yeah, I'll have to add that. That's two glaring recommendations there. So
yeah, I think
here we go. Thank you.
Zovan
says Rent's pretty good. That's right. The movie's great. And then I saw it off Broadway because I wasn't actually on Broadway. It was like the street over when I went to New York, and it was really cool to see live.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. That's like a mandatory thing in New York City. Even if you're not into plays or anything, you have to go. Like every time I've been to New York City, I've seen a play there. And the first time I went, can't remember what the name of the play was, but I remember like I went with like my aunt and my cousin and grandma, and they were like totally into it. And I was like, man, we're in New York City. Do we have to go to a freaking play? Like there's so much cooler stuff to be doing here. And it was literally like the highlight of my trip to New York. Like they're really cool, man. They're nothing like any play you've ever seen here. I guarantee it.
Yeah, no, it was really fun. And then I don't remember if it was before or after that trip. There used to be a place in Akron called the Carousel Theater, if I'm remembering right. I don't think it exists anymore.
No.
But it was like you could go get dinner, catch a show. And I went and saw West Side Story there, which was pretty good, for like a local spot. But yeah, that place doesn't exist anymore, so rip. But yeah, I think that does it for our Krampus review. Unless you have any final words, we can just kind of go into our hodgepodge of random things to talk about here to close out the episode. Thought it would be fun to maybe talk about what we've been watching lately. I've finished a few things. Have you been, getting a chance to catch any shows or movies besides Spider-Man?
Yeah, I definitely have. Can you do me a favor real quick? Can you try killing the fireplace to see if that's maybe what your issue is?
Yeah.
Because it's like it's hard to talk to you because you're breaking in and out. Rest in peace, the fireplace. Okay. So yeah,
while it lasted.
It was. I'm sure it warmed that room up pretty nice. So yeah, I've watched a couple things. I'm almost finished with Hawkeye. I have the final episode of Hawkeye to watch, and like I said, I think I might have mentioned it on the last episode we did. It's a Christmas show through and through, 100%. The music is Christmas. The entire score is Christmas. It's New York City during Christmas. It's a Christmas show. So if you want to watch it, like today and tomorrow are the best days to binge through it because it's the perfect little Christmas show. And then obviously, I did see Spider-Man twice. And then I started to watch some of the newer animated Batman movies. So I finished Batman Hush, which I really, really enjoyed. And then I'm working my way through the 2 parts of The Long Halloween, which is my hands down favorite graphic novel of all time, probably. And even though I said hands down and probably in the same sentence, it is my favorite graphic novel.
It is definitely probably my favorite.
So yeah, I was really excited when I saw that, because the Batman animated movies are just fantastic. Like, if anybody wants to argue with that, it's just a fact. No comic book. I mean, DC just does animated movies so good. I don't know if they do them for their other superheroes, because I only ever watch the Batman ones. But there's literally like 25 or 30 animated Batman movies, and they're all fantastic.
Yeah.
So
those are on HBO Max, right?
Yeah, all of them, man. I mean, I won't say all of them, but a very, very big chunk of them. So I don't know if is that going to be like a permanent thing?
Yeah, DC is, ran by Warner Brothers, so all their stuff lands on HBO Max.
Yeah, so I'm really into that, because back in the, before HBO Max, it was kind of hard to find some of these animated movies unless you got like the DC. DC had like a streaming thing at one point. I think they still do. Maybe not since they moved over to Is It Dead?
Here, or before the first season could even start, it got canceled.
Yeah.
But yeah, the streaming service. But Zovin says Spider-Man, Hawkeye were awesome. Bios says, I know you love Long Halloween. How is it?
Yeah, so it's good. It's good. I think that there's a lot that they had to condense into, like, I think total it's like maybe 2 hours and 50 minutes long. But yeah, I like it. I like it a lot so far. I think it's one of the cooler Batman stories. I just like the graphic novel. I almost bought the hardcover of it at Books A Million the other day, because I have a soft cover of it, and they had the hardcover there, and it was like almost, I just couldn't pay $50 for it, which is what they wanted, because it's not really that big of a graphic novel, not for $50, but man, the cover on it's beautiful looking. So
I love getting the hardcover trades,
for sure,
especially if they have like good cover art.
Yeah, I know that Todd McFarlane.
Maybe while you're sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I was gonna say, maybe in a second, next time you go into length about something, I'll back there and grab these 2 books that I just got, a new series called Deceased. It's if like all the superheroes kind of like turn into zombies.
Yeah,
which is it's a really, really, really cool story. But the cover art on these hardcovers, it's freaking beautiful, man. I love these books. I just kind of want to frame them and put them on my wall.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the hardcover for the new Long Halloween is awesome, and it's cool because you couldn't really find that book for a really long time. Like, I searched up and down for it before I got the soft cover, and now the hardcover's out, so I might have to just bite the bullet and do it. It's my favorite book, favorite graphic novel. But yeah, I like it a lot, Bio. I think that it's a good rendition of it. I love it. It's hard fought for me to not like any of the animated Batman movies, because I think they just do such a good job with them. I haven't seen Year One. That's probably my second favorite Batman story, Year One. And then
that's a good one.
Dark Knight Returns, I don't think I've seen yet either, which might be up there for me too, graphic novel wise. But yeah, man, dude, I love Frank. Man, Sin City's like one of my favorite books ever. I love the entire world that he built in Sin City, and I don't care what anybody says, I love both of the movies. I think they're both amazing. I wish we would get a third one, because my favorite story has yet to be made into a movie. So
nice.
Maybe someday.
The first Sin City like changed the way that I appreciated movies.
Oh yeah, for sure. And back then it was
so
groundbreaking. The way they did it. And that movie on Blu-ray today still looks beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I'd love to get it on 4K.
I need to go rewatch that. That should be added to my
Yeah.
Bio says, I have a beautiful hardback of The Killing Joke. Man, I'm telling you, nothing better than a nice, beautiful hardback trade.
I did see that they did a Killing Joke animated movie, but it's not. When I looked it up, it didn't get the best reviews. I don't know why per se. But
bought it the Blu-ray from Walmart for super cheap like a couple years ago, but I have this bad habit of buying Blu-rays and then never watching them. So that is one of them.
Yeah,
it's sitting also back there and hasn't been taken out of the case, which I probably should, because that's another great book there too. Underfunded says almost never is the same as sometimes always. That's right. Bio says, anyone seen the new Matrix? How was it? Gonna see it in Spider-Man this weekend.
Yeah, so from what I hear, you should maybe focus on Spider-Man for this weekend. But it's on. I think it's on HBO Max, because I was at work last night, and when I walked in, it was on the TV, and I was like, "How are you watching this?" And they're like, "It's on HBO." I was like, "Oh, I didn't even think that they released it on HBO at the same time." Mm-hmm. So I'll probably watch it just to watch it. But yeah, I haven't seen it yet. But I do, before I move off the Batman stuff real quick, I do want to say that I'm very excited that all that stuff is on HBO Max, because like all the movies and everything are too. And the final thing that for my what's watching thing is I went back and rewatched Joker, which I saw like a bootlegged copy of when it first came out and remembered loving it, but I never literally Russian writing on everything that's written in the thing was Russian, and somebody in a theater with a camera. And I remembered even after watching it, I was like, man, dude, that was a really, really, really good movie. And I never went back to watch it when it came out. So I was like, I should probably maybe go watch like the 4K version of this to see, what they said and all this lettering that was in Russian. And
that's hilarious, dude. I've never watched a bootleg. Actually, I remember watching, I don't know if it was quite to that level of bootleg, but on our honeymoon, we went to Riviera Maya in Mexico, and they had like a little outdoor theater on the resort.
Yeah.
And one of the nights we went and they were playing one of the Planet of the Apes movies with James Franco.
Yeah.
And it was pretty rough. It was like all in subtitles, and like it very well could have been like filmed on a phone or a camera. And I was like, this is great. I just paid so much money to come stay here. And I'm watching
they're bootlegged copies of movies. Yeah, that's fantastic.
It was awesome. Zovin says, underfunded, same here. Never cared about the Beatles till after, and I think I like the versions of Across the Universe were better. So they've been having a conversation about Across the Universe and Sweeney Todd and stuff. There's been a lot of comments tonight, which is awesome. But I'm skipping some, and I apologize. And Biosiv laid down the gauntlet and says, no, Mike, Marvel Zombies is superior. No.
Yeah, well, here, I will say that I watched, while it's not maybe getting the best notoriety on Disney Plus, the What If series. Did you watch any of those episodes?
No.
So it's like I think What If was a comic run where they changed like certain things in the comic books. So it'd be like, what if Black Panther became Iron Man, or what if some other character got bit by the spider instead of Peter, and yada, yada, yada. But there's a Marvel Zombies episode of that show, and I got to be honest, I really dug it, and I think a lot of other people dug it too, because I think they're making a full-on animated series on it now.
Oh, nice.
So it's a cool concept for sure.
I've always preferred DC comics over Marvel comics.
Yeah.
And Marvel, well, except for animation, I think DC's animated stuff is amazing. But everyone knows movie wise who takes the cake there. Yeah. So
I would agree with you, though. I think prior to the Spider-Man game coming out, I enjoyed DC stuff significantly more than Marvel, and significantly more to the point where I didn't watch any Marvel stuff. Literally nothing. I never watched a single Marvel movie until Spider-Man came out. And they're just better. They're more adult, especially the Batman stuff. Even when we're talking about like animated movies, yeah, they're animated, but they're almost like some of them can be anime level of violence and maturity in them.
Mm-hmm.
So I agree with you on that. I remember one of the most shocking things for me was once that Spider-Man came out, I was like super amped to go watch all the animated Spider-Man movies. I was like, yeah, I can't wait. There's going to be so, because, you know, Batman's got 40 of them, and literally nothing. The only thing that was coming out at the time was Into the Spider-Verse. That was the only animated Spider-Man movie that there is. So,
which was pretty wicked.
Which is awesome. Yeah, I'm not going to deny it's probably one of the best comic book movies ever made, but it was just so shocking to go from, you know, Batman playing Arkham Knight, where I had like a long list of awesome animated movies, and then get to Spider-Man, it's like nothing.
Yeah. Bio says, oh snap, need to watch Why If now, but he actually meant What If. Underfunded says, right, like Joker blew up a hospital. Yep.
Yeah.
It's right on cue with, you know, Anakin's murdering a bunch of children. Can't get much worse. And then Zovin says, Civ, you got to. What If was awesome. Yeah, man. Sorry.
So did you see Joker?
Yeah. Yeah, I saw that in theater. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
I really, really, really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Excuse me. What I think the Joker could do, like, I don't know the plans of, well, because I don't think anyone knows the plans of the DC EU, right? There's no cinematic universe that is consistent.
Right.
Whether or not they're trying, they are failing if they are trying. But one thing I think that is cool about that Joker movie is, you know, I like how Joaquin Phoenix is like the catalyst of who becomes the Joker, I think, in my mind. That's what I see that as. And I just thought it was a really, really cool take. And I love stories that are told by unreliable narrators. So like that's why I like Mr. Robot so much.
Right.
Movie, it's great because you're seeing the movie through his eyes, and you know, as you get to the end of the movie there, and you see what is really happening. I love stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
Great. And it just added a whole other cool layer to that movie.
Yeah, I
you've waited so long to watch like a legit version of the movie.
Yeah, I really I enjoyed the bootlegged version of the movie. I think the movie's fantastic. I think the movie handles mental health really, really well. I wasn't I'm not gonna lie, I'm not the biggest fan of the Joker's costume in the movie towards the end. I think it's, you know, they made some missteps as far as that goes. But Joaquin Phoenix playing what you said, so is he not supposed to be the Joker? Like the Joker's going to spur out of this thing that he caused? Is that what you're getting at?
I honestly have no idea.
Yeah.
But the way I interpret it, I mean, because Bruce Wayne is like, what, 10 or
10
so
maybe,
in the movie. And I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't think the Joker is that much older.
Right.
Because, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix in the movie is at least in his mid-30s, maybe mid-40s. I don't know.
Yeah.
So by the time Bruce Wayne becomes a Batman, I mean, Joker would be a senior citizen.
Right.
And probably not offering much of a fight up against Batman. So that, along with, you know, him just kind of like inspiring all the people in Gotham there to, I don't know, come in and don the clown masks and stuff. I don't know. I don't know what their intentions were, but that's kind of how I saw it play out.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. I'm trying to remember. I don't know if the Joker's true identity has ever been revealed in the comics. I feel like in my memory it hasn't, but that could have changed by now because it's been a while since I've read any of the newer stuff. But
have you read
think
Killing Joke before?
Maybe. Killing Joke is the one where he shoots Barbara.
Yeah.
Like,
So that's probably
and I
the
think
closest that they've come to revealing like the origin of the Joker, I think. And this movie kind of follows that a little bit, like failure of a stand-up comedian.
right.
So you kind of have that aspect. They
Yeah.
at least like dabble in there, but yeah, I think that's what makes the Joker such a cool villain is the mystery of his
Right.
origin, which
Yeah.
made me super nervous when that movie was announced. I was like, you're taking away what makes the Joker cool, that mystery of how he became who he is. I think the Joker is such a strong villain because he is just chaos embodied
Yeah.
as a person, right? There is no
Right.
explanation for his madness, and I think that's what makes him cool. So I was so scared. I'm like, no, don't ruin like the best villain ever by trying to explain how he became the way he is. But I thought they did a really good job, honestly. And I think one thing that these are starting to do in general, let alone just superhero movies, is they're starting to make the villains more relatable. I think
Yeah.
is
Mm-hmm.
the word
I
I'm
agree.
looking
Yeah.
for. But starting with Black Panther, Killmonger, like
Right.
though you probably don't agree with his actions, you can understand how he came to
Why
the
he's doing
conclusion
it.
he came to,
Yeah.
right? And even in a lesser degree, you can kind of understand why Thanos did what he did.
Right.
Like the solution to his problem obviously is not good.
Right.
But in his eyes, he's trying to solve a problem that actually does exist, right? Like it's not just pure malice and evil that he wants to kill people. Happened on his home world, and he's like, well, this probably is happening everywhere. We got to fix this because
Yeah.
it happened to me and it sucked. Um, and then you get to the Joker and you just sympathize with the character the entire movie because he's just downtrodden the entire movie, and you're just
Yeah.
like, oh god, this guy can't catch a break. Like
Right.
it's just every bad thing keeps happening to him. Uh, I enjoy. I mean, I think they do that in other movies way more frequently than they do with hero movies, but I'm glad that hero movies are starting to do. I don't know. I mean, sometimes it's fun to, root against a villain that is just evil because he's evil because
Yeah.
it's evil. But like,
Right.
I think it gets you more emotionally connected with characters when you can kind of like understand why they came to the conclusions that they came to.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with you. I think, I mean, Joaquin Phoenix is probably up there for my favorite Jokers. I'm not going to lie. I think he did.
Yeah.
I think he did a great job. Even the explaining the laughing the way they did in the movie, where it was like a medical condition that he have, which I actually do believe is a legitimate medical condition. They didn't make it
Yeah.
up for the movie. I thought that was brilliant. His laugh is probably one of the best Joker laughs ever.
It is so good.
And just some of the stuff that he does in the movie, like directly after the subway scene that kind of sparks the entire thing. He goes into that like bathroom and does that like weird dance. It's just very haunting and very, I just loved it, man. As soon as I saw that, it almost like made the hair on the back of my neck stand up. Like this dude just like murdered 3 guys and now he's doing this weird dance in the bathroom. So yeah, I love that. I love the counselor stuff where he's like, you just don't listen, do you? Like all I have are bad thoughts. I thought that the mental health is probably literally one of the best mental health movies I've ever seen, which is weird to say from a comic book villain movie, but it really truly is.
All right. Yeah. Biosif says, I described to a sheriff once, which I need to know why you were talking about this with the sheriff. That's a conversation that we need to have. But he says, I described to a sheriff once, DC is hardcore superhero movies. Marvel is one you want to watch with the family. Perfect description. And I think that's, again, this could be an entire separate episode.
True.
But if you've listened to the pod time, you know my beef. At least, you're exactly right. DC is the adult superhero movies. Marvel is great because it's family, it's lighthearted. They're usually fun superhero movies. But I love that with DC, you get the exact opposite. You need darker take on a superhero story. And I like that I have both options when I want to watch a movie.
Yeah.
What's driving me nuts is the fact that Warner Brothers is and caves to stupid fan critiques before movies even come out.
Right.
And constantly change things after the fact and then change things before the fact. But like when you get to the Wonder Woman movie, the first one, I haven't seen the second one. The first one, it was good, but you could tell they're like trying to Marvelize DC movies. Like they're adding in more jokes. And like if I wanted to watch a Marvel movie, I would go watch a Marvel movie.
Right.
But I don't want to watch a Marvel movie. I want the darker, gritty take on a superhero story. That's why I'm watching a DC movie. Like stick to what makes you unique instead of trying to make everything the same. Because I enjoy both. I want to have the option of watching both takes. But
yeah, I agree with you. Although I do feel that Marvel definitely has its dark and violent comic books. The MCU specifically is I think what you're talking about, not necessarily Marvel as a whole. Which sucks because there are really, especially Spider-Man movies that are really dark. I mean, darker than probably any Batman story you're ever going to read. So it does suck that they're not being told in the MCU. Maybe we'll get there. I think you're right. I think they're marketing to kids for whatever reason, which is fine. I mean, Thanos still murdered, millions upon millions of people. So it's still dark. But yeah, I agree with, Batman always enticed me because, and this was maybe falsely me thinking this, I always liked Batman because his villains, they weren't like super villains. They were just crazy maniacs, like if you think of majority of them are just crazy. And I really like that. I always felt like Batman felt really, really grounded, whereas the MCU or Marvel stuff in general just was not very grounded. They definitely have their grounded stories, but as a whole, they're far more in the stratosphere as far as, super villains and space and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But I always hate that when I hear that people say that, like, yeah, Marvel stuff is not dark. It's not true because there's very dark Marvel stuff. And Daredevil, I think, did a great job of doing kind of the darker side of
the Marvel series, the Netflix Marvel series. So good.
Oh, it's fantastic, man. And I'm excited because I think that some of these characters are certainly coming back. I don't want to, spoil anything, but
do it.
Yeah, I think we're going to get some of these characters back. And the one that and I've said on here before, I hope we get back is Jessica Jones, because I loved her show.
Yeah.
I thought Kilgrave, the way they did the Purple Man in Jessica Jones was just brilliant. Like the abusive ex-boyfriend angle
David
was just so good.
Crushed it too.
Oh my God, so good. Such a good performance from him.
Under Fun, it says Squid Game tried really hard to be real and relatable. I think that's why it was as successful. Very true. Still another one thing I need to watch. Sure, I'll get to that when I get to my list, because I need you guys to hold me accountable. Biosiv says it's crazy because Daredevil is my favorite Marvel shizzle and the Punisher. He comes in, corrects it there. And then Zovin says, I think Dark MCU is coming with Moon Knight and Black Knight. I'm very excited for the Moon Knight series, but I'm also a big Oscar Isaac fan.
Yeah, so am I.
But yeah, I'm excited for that. Should be really cool. So thanks for coming to our superhero movie TED Talk.
Yeah, right.
Krampus review.
Yeah,
that was a really fun conversation though.
Yeah, definitely.
And I to get into that.
And I do have to point out one last thing is I totally agree with Bio. I love the dark, gritty Netflix Marvel stuff. Like they should have leaned into that from the get-go and did their little childish Captain America saves the world stuff and then left that Marvel stuff there. And I hope we get some of that back, especially Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Like some of them don't need to come back. The Defenders doesn't need to come back. Luke Cage was okay. And Iron Fist I could have done without. But the other shows, they can all come back because canceled prematurely.
Punisher, so good. The fight sequences in Daredevil, some of my favorite I've probably ever seen.
Unreal.
The two that stick out is early on in the first season when he fights his way through the hall and he's like coming in and out of rooms and stuff.
Yeah. One of the best for sure.
I think it's in the second season where he's fighting his way down the stairs and like he's hitting out lights and
it's
like a 5-minute long sequence. Just
there's one of those in every single season. I think the first one was the hallway. That's the first season. The second one where he's smacking the lights out, which is awesome. That's the second season, and then the third one is in the prison, which I might add is kind of it's kind of overlooked when people talk about these fight scenes, but it's really, really, really good.
Yeah.
So, I think that the whole one cut thing, even though I'm pretty sure that those aren't shot all in one cut, they're just cut together to look like that. It's just cool, man. Like that's what, if Daredevil comes back, they need to have those in the shows because I think Hawkeye has a scene that's reminiscent of the scenes from Daredevil.
Yeah. Underfunded says, didn't Batman's parents die around Christmas? It's full circle. There you go. Yeah, we'll tie it together with that lovely little bow. And then Bio says those fight scenes take one shot. Lovely. That's what you were just talking about there, Chad.
Yep.
But yeah, I'd miss those Netflix series for sure. But let's get into. I want to update you guys with what I'm watching, and then make my plea for help. So I finished Invasion season 1. I think I just talked about that. It's a really good show. Apple TV. Been on the Apple TV kick lately. I thought it was a really good show. I would recommend this to anyone. Actually, I think I recommended it to BioCiv last night. Becca and I finished Ted Lasso, which really good show. Have you seen?
Is it like the soccer? He's like a soccer coach or something. I've heard people talk about it, but I have not seen it. No.
Those shows are not really my cup of tea. I actually really like this one. It's really good, heartwarming, funny. The ending of season 2 really got me in a tizzy. I was a little upset, a little angry.
Is that Apple TV?
Yep, it's another Apple show. But yeah, I would definitely recommend this. It's really good. I have 1.5 episodes left of Foundation, another Apple show. This one's becoming really, really good. It kind of started off a little slow, but it has a very deep universe in this story, lots to explore, and a really cool story about like math, which sounds weird, but it's a little bit. Really, really cool. There's like, this isn't a spoiler or anything because it happens very, very early in the first episode, but basically like the Galactic Empire, yes, they use that word, and yes, that's a Star Wars thing. No, this is not a Star Wars show.
Is it a space show though?
Yes, it's a sci-fi show. It's amazing. The Galactic Empire has been ruled by clones of this one emperor 400 years. So like towards the end of the emperor's life, he's like, I'm just going to clone myself and continue to rule like through my clones. So there's an older clone that they call Brother Dusk. Then there's Brother Day, which is like a middle-aged clone. And then there's a young clone called Brother Dawn. And at all times, there's always 3 of them. One in his, later years of life, and then the middle-aged one is kind of the one that kind of rules, and then the young one is being brought up by the other two and learning about things. It's just like a really cool concept that I
it sounds
haven't
really
seen
cool
done before. It's turned out to be a really, really cool show. I'm excited to see what happens in the last episode and a half here. Since Becca and I finished Ted Lasso, we of course needed a new show to start together, so we started Hawkeye. We're 2 episodes in, pretty good.
Nice.
I'm not really in like a superhero mood these days, because of the sci-fi rabbit hole I'm in. Like,
right.
I mean, Invasion Sci-Fi, Foundation Sci-Fi.
I'm a slave to my kicks too, man. So I feel you.
Playing Mass Effect, I'm still watching 6 of the Expanse as it releases. Book of Boba Fett's about to start up.
Right.
Like, it's just superheroes have been pushed to the side for now. But I enjoy Jeremy Renner, and I'm glad that Hawkeye finally gets some love, even though it's just 6 episodes. And even though it's really kind of introducing Kate Bishop, and still Hawkeye's kind of even like a side character in his own series. But it's a good series nonetheless, so I'm excited to finish it out.
I think they nailed Kate Bishop. I love whatever her name is, Haley Steinfeld or whatever. I love her in everything she's in. I think she voices Spider-Gwen and Into the Spider-Verse. I loved her in that too.
Nice. She voices Vi in Arcane, by the way.
Oh yeah. You're right. I remember you telling me that. Throw Studios comment up on there real quick, because I could not agree with this more. If you have not watched Netflix's Daredevil, you should definitely do so before Spider-Man and Hawkeye. And it's very important, because you're going to miss some of the biggest reveals in both those movies if you did not watch Daredevil.
Yeah, you're going to be like me when I got to that pivotal scene in Star Wars Rebels when Ahsoka breaks Vader's mask.
You're like, I have no idea who these people are.
But I feel like it should be more. I'm excited to see what happens in Hawkeye, because we've been reporting on the newscast for last several months about cameos of maybe Kingpin, of maybe Matt Murdock, of here and there from the
Hawkeye
Netflix
feels
series.
a lot like Daredevil to me. Like, maybe it's just because it takes place in New York. That might just be the brunt of it. But even some of the action pieces, like I said, remind me of Daredevil. So
I really like the so I'm only 2 episodes in, but like the tracksuit gang. Like, that's hilarious.
Yeah, they're from the comics. They have a different name in the comics. I think they're the tracksuit like vampires or something ridiculous. But yeah, they're hilarious, because I think even in the comics they end all their sentences with bro.
Oh, awesome. And I just love the tracksuits. So it's like,
the tracksuits are fantastic. And I will fully admit to you, behind the wall that is right behind me, there's probably like 14 tracksuits. I wear tracksuits quite a bit. You haven't seen them yet on the show, but you will. The Italian will come out. But so I really love the tracksuits.
Which, by the way, I love your hoodie.
Yeah, thanks, man.
The tie-dye PlayStation.
And then I got Japanese. I don't know if I can get it on the screen here. Japanese lettering down the arm.
Oh, nice.
Kind of hard to twist it.
Did you like have that custom made, or did you find it somewhere?
Walmart, I think.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I was totally jealous of both my boys got these really cool PlayStation hoodies, and I was totally jealous of them. They look nothing like this one, but I like this one. I've always wanted one that has the Japanese lettering on it, so it's
very cool.
Yeah.
So I'm about to wrap up Foundation, which means I'm going to need sorry about the throat clearing. I apologize. But that means I'm going to need a new series to watch, because the Expanse weekly release.
Yeah.
And this brings me to my problem, and that is there are so many things that I need to watch that I forget about what I need to watch. Like, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm always like, every time I talk to you guys, or like look through Netflix or Prime or Disney or Apple, I'm always like, oh yeah, I need to watch that. I need to watch that show. I need to watch that series. But then when I'm like, all right, what do I want to watch? Like, even though I have like lists built on Netflix and stuff, it's just like everything goes away. I'm like, oh,
yeah,
I don't have anything to watch. What the heck? I guess I'll just turn on like ESPN and watch SportsCenter. But I'm thinking this comment is so true. Nick says, I forget how much this show is a Mike self-help session most of the time. Also, I can't believe you're still watching. Like, aren't you like celebrating something or hanging out with your family? Anyways, but your comment is very true. That's the entire reason this podcast was started, I think. But what I'm thinking about doing is like literally making a spreadsheet or a Word doc or something, even though I have like my list on Netflix and all that stuff, but like maybe putting it on my phone so that way I can cross stuff off and like, I don't know. I think maybe like actually writing it down or typing it out will help it stick in my brain.
Yeah.
And then if I make a list like that, then I can like post it in Discord or throw it up on the screen or something on the next What's Watching episode. So that way you guys are aware about what's on my list and you can badger me and hound me of like, hey, have you watched that yet? I don't know. I'm thinking about doing that. I don't know if that's a good idea or not.
Yeah, I like the idea. I think it's a good idea. And you can kind of check them off as you go too. But number one on that list, and I'm sorry, you're going to get mad at me, but it has to be said. Number one on that list has to be Game of Thrones. It's baffling to me that you have not watched Game of Thrones yet. It truly, truly is. Now, granted, I get it's a very big undertaking to take on this show, right? Because it's like 7 seasons, 10 hours, 10 episodes a season. If it's not the best show you've ever watched by the end, I'd be shocked.
Yeah.
Utterly shocked. Because everybody that I've ever recommended that show to, including people that were violently against it, ended up absolutely loving it. So it's just like you have a podcast about pop culture, bro. You gotta watch Game of Thrones. It's just gotta happen. You just have to do it.
So
plus, if you're gonna be playing The Witcher, like I'm a big fan of watching shows that are similar to the games that you're playing, and there's nothing more similar than The Witcher besides the Witcher show, obviously. But
side note, streaming Mass Effect has been super fun while I've been on this like Expanse and Foundation kick.
Yeah,
it's like just like playing a video game version of those shows, basically.
Yeah, it's I watched The Expanse when I played through all 3 of those shows. So I mean they're perfect.
So my disclaimer before I get to these comments that are rolling in about not having seen Game of Thrones is I haven't had HBO up until like a couple months ago. And that's as far as my excuse goes because
I was going to say that's fine, but you've had it for a couple months and you haven't watched it, so that's still.
But that at least covers me for the last several years while it was airing. I did have an excuse. I don't anymore.
Yeah, I get that. It's just like I mean I don't necessarily know exactly what you like, but it's got a very deep history to it, an awesome world that they build, past wars, all kinds of stuff that you can dig into. I mean, it's got as much past content that you can find on like a Wikipedia page than probably as much as Star Wars, at least, for sure.
Keep dropping this dang bunny. Yeah, dude, it's definitely up there. I'll have to put it up. I'll have to see what all is on my list, but that'll probably be up towards the top. So Nick says sports are the demise of civilized society. And Biosif says, please, that's how the socialized gamble. And then Nick says, socializing isn't necessarily civilized. Neither are guns, apparently, if you're friends with Obi-Wan. Underfunded says, have you tried Waz? No, I haven't. I'm sorry, dude. I have so many games in my Steam library because I keep going on all these shady sites and finding ridiculous deals and buying games for like $4 that my backlog of games I need to play is gigantic. And the people voted on Mass Effect in Discord, so you can blame them.
Blame the people.
Yeah. Game of Thrones says Biosif says Game of Thrones was great. Don't care what everyone says about the end. Doesn't come close to as poor as Lost or Heroes.
Yeah, I agree with Bio. I think the ending is perfectly fine.
Nick says Game of Thrones has the most practical ending of all shows.
Yep.
It's how life works.
I agree 100%.
All right. Yeah, it's on the list. It'll get moved up. But like now I'm just thinking about what's on HBO Max. I still have to watch season 3 of Titans. That's really the only thing. I have to finish Chernobyl, but I might as well restart that because it's been so long.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good watch. I like Chernobyl a lot. It definitely got me excited for The Last of Us because it's the same people doing The Last of Us series. So
yeah. Okay, so before we end with Christmas stuff, we did have an Answer the Boys, topic about Krampus. And then what people have been watching, and we got a couple replies. So Tom Money, the Bomb Faros from Be Hero, he says, I was just watching it last night with my 3-year-old. Speaking of Krampus, we got about halfway through, and he was done.
Yeah, wonder why.
I love that movie though. Yeah, I could understand how your 3-year-old would be. I feel movie for a child to watch.
Yeah, don't feel bad
right
though.
Before Christmas.
Yeah, don't feel bad because I'm gonna be honest with you. I went back and forth on letting my 6-year-old watch it before I sat down to watch it because he likes horror stuff, like kiddie horror stuff. I was like, it's PG-13. It can't be that scary. I'm glad I didn't let him watch it because he would have been probably horrified.
He'd had nightmares. Yeah. And then Mel says, I love that movie. Definitely a Christmas tradition at my house, though I have not watched it yet this year. Well, hopefully she wrote that on the 20th, so hopefully she's got it in because she's running out of time. Zovin says, love Game of Thrones, but sorry the end sucked. Lol. Dexter's end sucked too, but the new Dexter is pretty good.
Yeah, that's that's a common theory about
I didn't
Game
mind
of Thrones.
Dexter's ending, honestly.
I've never watched Dexter, but I heard that it's got a really bad ending. But they brought it back for another season, which is cool. So maybe they can correct some of those other mistakes. But the Game of Thrones thing, it seems to me like everybody that I've ever told to binge watch it since the series ended has liked the ending. If you watched it live, the ending might not make as good of sense as if you watched it binged, because there are things that happen in season 1 and 2 that are very obvious about what's going to happen at the end, and it might have been forgotten by the time you get to the 8th season if you're watching it live. So I think that seems to me, from my point of view, how it's going.
I will say, as a caveat to my opinion on the ending of Dexter, the night that I watched the finale, it was in the middle of my softball heydays where I was playing on like 5 different teams in 5 different leagues. And that night, one of my teams won the championship. So I was like really emotional. And I remember crying during the last episode of Dexter.
Yeah.
And really enjoying it. But also, I think it was because of
your emotions,
the thrill of winning a championship.
Right.
That doesn't sound dorky at all.
No, not at all. Not even remotely.
Yeah. Nope.
I feel you, dude, because I had a kind of a similar experience with the movie Interstellar. Although Interstellar makes me cry practically every time I watch it now, but I was going through like I had passed the lieutenant's exam at the fire department, so I was going through like all the different stuff that I had to go through, and at the end of it I watched Interstellar, and it was like the relief of everything being done, of all the boards and everything being done, and then I just cried like a little infant in the dorm at the fire department. So I have a similar thing.
Nice. Yeah, dude. It's funny how life circumstances can affect your watching of things.
Yeah, it is.
But yeah, I thought it would be fun maybe to talk about some do you have any Christmas traditions? I mean, we're the eve of Christmas Eve. Christmas is coming 2 days away. What do the Chads do over there?
Yeah, so for my whole childhood, the Christmas Eve thing was always going to my cousin's house. They had like a get together for the whole side of the family, and we didn't really see them very often outside of Christmas Eve. So that was always like a thing that I loved doing, because as a kid, you have no responsibilities. You go over there and hang out and eat and see everybody you haven't seen forever.
Yeah.
But COVID kind of squashed that a couple years ago, and they have since moved to like a summer gathering, which seems to be more popular. But me being the old grumpy man, I want it to be Christmas Eve because it's been in my tracksuit with my silver chain and my wife beater hanging out. I want it to be on Christmas Eve because my entire childhood was spent Christmas Eve at that house, so it's like wiping a tradition off the map and moving it to summer, which kind of sucks.
Yeah. Our Christmas Eve tradition this year has changed too due to sickness. It wasn't COVID, but the in-laws came down with some sickness here. So they're still kind of wiped out a little bit, but we always would go to my wife's parents' house on Christmas Eve and celebrate Christmas with that side of the family on Christmas Eve. But we're doing that on Tuesday now. So tomorrow is going to be strange because, the last 10 years I've been going over there for Christmas.
Right.
And on top of that, so I lead worship at the church I attend as like my part-time job on top of my full-time job, on top of doing all this dumb podcast crap. But since like I'm like the official worship leader of the band there at the church, I have to lead Christmas Eve service. It will be the first Christmas Eve service I've had to lead worship in for over a decade, because I've been married to my wife and we always go to her family's house. So I'd always like skip out on Christmas Eve services.
Yeah.
So like we had this plan of also my escape died and we got rid of it, and we're just ever have the need for two vehicles is on Sunday mornings because of church stuff. But like the rest of the week, if we ever go anywhere, we go together, or I'll stay home with the kids or she'll stay home with the kids or whatever. So we devised this whole plan of like them dropping me off at the church and then going to her parents' house, and then me dropping her off at her parents' house and then going to church and then just driving straight there after church. And then, all of our planning was for naught because we're not even doing anything.
Yeah, right.
It ended up kind of like working out, but it still kind of sucks that we're not going over there. But one of the big things, kind of going along here with Biosiv, his Christmas Eve tradition is open a gift before bed and wear new pajamas. We do get our kids new Christmas pajamas that we give them on Christmas Eve. And one thing that we do in our family is when Becca and I got married, ever since then, so 10 years now, we get each other a Christmas ornament and give it to each other on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
So we always try to find an ornament for each other that kind of like encapsulates what we liked during the year. And now we've passed that down to doing it for our kids too. So that's kind of like a fun little Christmas tradition that we do.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, you expecting any cool gifts to come your way?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of am, but I don't want to get my hopes up in case it doesn't come. So if it doesn't come, I'm gonna have to buy it myself because I need a new one. But I really need a new iPad. My iPad's really starting to slowly just die. And the problem with that is that I have the big iPad Pro, the first generation one. So now like I have to get the big one again, and it's really expensive. Like I can't go back down in size, so it's just a headache. So I'm hoping that someone just takes the weight off of me, and
Yeah, dude. The only thing I really use, now the only thing I use my iPad for is for music stuff.
Yeah.
And I had a first gen iPad that just like the battery just completely died, won't turn on or charge or anything. So got rid of that, and it was gifted a Gen 2 iPad, which is super old. Works fine, battery's fine, but it's so old that I can't like get the Gmail app or like Dropbox app because the operating system is so old and it won't update. So, and on top of that, it's the speed of this thing. I'm telling you, like, I try to like, I go on Safari, right, to get into Dropbox to get PDFs for music that I need. And like, I go to search Dropbox and I like type in the name of the song, and it literally takes like 3 minutes for the
to type out.
letters to type out, and then another 3 minutes for the results to pop up. And I'm like, holy crap, I could have like wrote it all out myself, like got a piece of paper and wrote down the lyrics and the chords and everything. So yeah, I feel you on needing a new iPad.
Yeah, mine is not quite that bad yet. The only thing I use my iPad for is I have a really bad habit of watching things before I fall asleep in bed, and that's what I use my iPad for 99.9% of the time. There's occasionally I used it for other stuff, music and that kind of stuff. The timestamps I used it for. So
nice.
I just would like one. I don't necessarily need one, whereas I did need a new MacBook that I got like a little bit ago. So I definitely needed that because I was in dire straits for a new computer. So
nice. Underfund says we let the kids open one gift and wear new pajamas. Yeah, dude, those pajamas. It's like a big Christmas thing apparently.
It is. We do it too. So I think it's pretty common.
Oh shoot. Oh, the other thing I used the iPad for, I didn't do it at all this summer. But last summer, every Saturday night I would have a bonfire by myself out back and watch the UFC fights on my iPad by the fire by myself. And I was like, it was so great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
It's definitely a cool idea for sure.
So old that it became very rough.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, I think Becca and I have kind of like started to like kind of stop giving each other gifts. We just give everything to the kids.
Right.
But I think the one thing I'm going to do for myself this year is pre-order Pokemon Legends Arceus, which I'm super excited about. Comes out the end of January, and I'm just waiting to see what place will have the best pre-order bonuses. I'm looking for some cool physical pre-order bonus. I don't have anything in particular in mind. I'm just hoping that something pops up and catches my eye, and then that's where I will pre-order the game.
That's funny that you bring that up though, because I was just watching a video on that the other night. It looks really good. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I'm kind of really excited.
I'm interested to see how the open worldness, like it's not like a true open world game, but like when you encounter Pokemon, like you stay in the world instead of like going into the battle cutscenes and stuff. But like being able to sneak up on Pokemon and like you have to target the Pokemon and then like throw the ball instead of going through like the Game Boy game or like, you know, the traditional catching methods and stuff. But the thing that is so exciting is like the Pokemon can attack you as the person, and like you can faint and like have your health depleted, which I think is so cool. And you can
I think it's like the first time ever.
Attack.
First time ever that they attack humans outside of like there was one game where they attacked Detective Pikachu, maybe. I can't remember. But yeah, that I'm here for it. It looks cool. It looks kind of like Breath of the Wild Pokemon, which I'm down for, you know?
Yeah, dude.
And it's been a while. It's been a while since I gave my Switch some love.
There you go.
And I was just talking about this on the stream for Miles today. I was thinking about getting Dragon Quest 11 on the Switch, and I keep going back and forth between the PlayStation because it just looks so much better on the PlayStation, you know?
Right.
The convenience factor of the Switch and the fact that it's been covered in dust for the past 2 years might have to, you know, bust it out and play it on there. We'll see.
Yeah, for sure. I also am going to keep my eye out on some of these holiday sales, which, by the way, the Mass Effect Legendary Edition is 50% off on Steam, and I'm totally picking that up when I get paid.
Yeah, I just looked through PlayStations yesterday. I was kind of in a rush because it was like 10 minutes before I had to leave for work. But man, there's a lot of good stuff on there. A lot of games that I've been waiting for to go on sale. So I'll probably be picking something up off of there.
Yeah, for sure. I did pick up a $4 game off cdkeys.com, which I've both, had a great experience buying Resident Evil, the HD remaster, from my little adventure with BioCiv to see the Welcome to Raccoon City movie. Made me want to, go back and play the first Resident Evil.
Did you guys go see that?
We did. We only really talked about it in Discord. Yeah, BioCiv and I guess it was last Tuesday, went and saw Resident Evil Welcome to Raccoon City. Had a blast. Super fun. It's cool to hang out with BioCiv. Haven't seen him in person since like high school, which is, I guess, a million years ago now. But it was a good movie for fans of the game. I mean, it had its problems. I mean, what movie doesn't? But I think they did a really good job smashing the stories of 1 and 2 into a singular movie and telling them simultaneously. A lot of cool callbacks to the games for fans of the games. I enjoyed it a lot, and I hope they continue with the series reboot, and I'm excited to see what happens. I will say my two biggest gripes. First, how they did my boy Leon. They made him like the punching bag of the movie, like a little doofus who has no idea what he's doing.
Yeah.
Come on. Come on. That's not Leon.
Right.
But I understand every movie has to have a character like that because, blah, blah, blah. It's dumb. I didn't like that. And I think they miscast Albert Wesker and Chris Redfield. I think the people that played those two characters should have been swapped. So Tom Hopper played Wesker and Robbie Amell played Chris. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with Tom Hopper by name, but you would know him if you saw him. You've seen Umbrella Academy?
Yes.
Okay, so he's like the huge ripped dude.
Oh, okay. Show. Yeah. So and you want him for who?
For Chris Redfield, because in real life, like the dude is legit, like so ripped, like his biceps are as big as my head. And when I think of Chris Redfield, first thing I think of, bulging biceps. How is he going to explode a boulder with your bare fists?
Yeah,
like you do in Resident Evil 5. Okay, so
and he kind of looks like. I mean, it's been a while since I've even played a game with Chris Redfield in it, but doesn't he kind of look like Tom Hopper too, though? Doesn't he?
A little bit. I mean, I could see the resemblance
enough
to
to
Robbie
pass
Amell, but Wesker's not like, when I think of Wesker, I don't think of like a huge jack dude with like tree trunk biceps.
Right.
So I think they could have probably swapped those guys, Other than that, I thought the stories were really cool. I enjoyed it a lot, and it was fun hanging out with BioCiv.
Yeah, I'm glad because I definitely want to watch it. I had my concerns, especially when the reviews came out. But, it sounds like they did a better job than the original movies by the sounds of it.
I will say that, yes.
So,
I enjoyed it more than the old series of movies for sure.
I just was concerned. It's the same concern I have for the Uncharted movie where they're biting off a little too much to chew on. You know what I mean? Like two movies. Each of those games could have been a separate movie.
Yeah. I would have preferred it to be separate so they could spend more time. But I think the way they did it, it wasn't as bad as you might think it would happen.
Does it stay pretty true to the games, at least 2?
Yeah, I think even at both games, I think it follows well. Now, you can't get like too into the weeds and the details because you're trying to tell 2 stories in one movie. But what they did tell of the stories of the games were very accurate to the games. I feel like BioCiv, if he's still in the comments here, I'm sure he could give you his opinions on it. Yeah, I like it. I'd go watch it again too. I had a lot of fun with it.
I might check it out because I did see in that PlayStation sale that Resident Evil 3, the remake of Resident Evil 3, is on sale for like $12 or something ridiculous, and it's like still $60 on there. So I was like, oh man, I might have to dive on that because I loved the 2 remake.
Yeah, I picked up the HD of Resident Evil 1 for $4 off that website, and I was like, oh sweet, because I literally was just talking about wanting to get this. And then I
own that first game, but I wish they would remake it in the way that 2 is remade. Yeah. I get that they probably don't want to because they already did technically, but it's still got the like stationary camera and tank controls and all that crappy stuff. So you could probably mod that on PC to some extent, though.
I would assume probably if you're not a boomer like me, you could probably figure it out. But yeah, then on the same site, I found the Mass Effect Legendary Edition for like $41, which was a good deal because it's still $60. I had to buy it like a million times, but for whatever reason, it wasn't working. And so much so that this like purchases and kind of like stopped working. So I had to go to the bank, be like, no, that was me trying to buy those things. That's how many times I tried in like one.
Does Steam have a holiday sale? Because
they do.
Because the Legendary Edition is on sale on PlayStation also. Yeah,
it's $29.99 on. So I'm gonna be picking that up when I get paid. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Biosip says it was a good movie, like 80% true to the games.
Oh, sweet.
And then he says, check Discord. We got pretty deep. Yeah, we did. I forget what channel. I think it was the What's Watching channel in Discord. We kind of both wrote little blurbs about it in there. But yeah, I don't know. I think we're, pretty much done, don't you?
Yeah.
Anything else you want to say about anything?
I don't think so, man. I think we covered the Christmas gambit.
Yeah, and a few other gambits while we were at it. This was a fun episode. Exactly. I liked the random rabbit trails we went down. I really enjoyed the Joker talk, the superhero talk. That was fun. Excited for Christmas. I hope everyone out there listening now, out there hanging out in the chat, and listening in the future, you guys have a nice Christmas or had a nice Christmas. Make sure you check out the Discord. There is a link in the episode description. If you're watching on Twitter, we don't have episode descriptions over there. You can check out our Linktree link, which is on the bottom of the screen there. There's a link to everything Showboys related there. Make sure you subscribe here on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch. Check out our Patreon, patreon.com/showboyspodcast. If you're able to support us, we would greatly appreciate it. We have some things cooking in the back end that is going to require some financial support. So if you're able to sign up on Patreon, that'd be great. It'd really help us out. What else have I forgotten to say? Subscribe.
Yeah, subscribe.
Check out Showboys Gaming. Subscribe over there. We're streaming games a lot. Chad's streaming games a lot during the day on Twitch. You're still working your way through Spider-Man Remastered, or have you beaten it yet?
Yeah, so I was gonna bring that up. So yeah, I just started Miles today. Actually, it was the first chance I got to actually stream. So on Twitch, there's like 3 hours the beginning part of Miles, and then I'm gonna put in the Discord. I need help picking out the next game to stream, so I'm gonna compile a list of games that I might be interested in streaming, and then put them up on there and let you guys vote and see what comes out on top, because I'm having a hard time picking.
Yeah, hey, I just did that and it was really fun. A lot of people chimed in and voted, and it was really cool. So I'm excited to see the list that you have.
Yeah.
And everyone out there listening who is in the Discord, make sure you vote. Help us pick out our games. That's why I'm playing Mass Effect right now, which I'm glad that it was chosen, because I'm having a lot of fun with it, even though I'm playing the clunky.
Yeah, I was gonna say, how is this gonna
game?
Yeah, how's this gonna work when you buy the new one?
So I was talking to Biosiv about this. He said that my save should be able to transfer into the Legendary Edition.
Okay.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I'm a big boomer, so
yeah.
But I'm gonna finish out the first one in the original because I'm already like 3 or 4 hours in, which isn't that long. But when I have very limited gaming time, I want to like restart it on stream again and stuff.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
So I'm gonna play the first one out, and then I'll start on, and then 3.
Nice.
So yeah, or I don't know, maybe if I find some free time off stream, I'll try to catch up in the Legendary Edition, then switch over because I like to play these games with a controller, even though I'm playing on PC. And
you
the original has no controller support.
Yeah,
and it's really clunky. And I would much prefer to play the Legendary Edition.
Yeah, I think you definitely would. You definitely would, because I don't remember it being clunky. I mean, it's the clunkiest out of the 3 for sure, but I wouldn't say that it affected my game and by any stretch of the imagination how clunky it is. So I'm sure they upgraded quite a bit from the original. Dark Souls. Yeah, that's actually Sekiro was maybe going to be on my list, which is the same studio that made Dark Souls. I'm just far more fluent in Sekiro than I am any of the Dark Souls games. So
right on. Underfun says, join the Discord, bro. I'm there and you can hit me up anytime. That's right. Hit any of us up. But anyways, I'm sticking true to our intro with having a ridiculously long outro, but we're going to end right now. Hope to see you guys in Discord. Thank you guys for hanging out with us on the eve of Christmas Eve. And we hope you have a great Christmas. In the meantime, enjoy our theme song and we'll see you next week. Good night.
See you guys.
Dude, right before we came on, I was playing the Super Bowl of my Madden franchise.
Yeah.
Dude, I am struggling to score a touchdown against the Bears, and it's like
really
the first time I've had difficulty scoring a touchdown.
Interesting. What Madden are you playing?
3 field goals, 21.
Wow, 21. Interesting.
Well, by the way, you want to hear another weird thing about this Super Bowl matchup?
Yeah.
Colin Kaepernick is their quarterback.
Yeah. Brady and I have played like 5. I think we're on our 6th total season together on the same team, which is really fun. If you ever get a chance to do it, it's super fun. But he was the quarterback for like Dallas or someone ridiculous one of the seasons.
Nice.
So yeah, he's still in the game, which I thought was really weird. But
I still got the 4th quarter left to go, and I'm down 10-9. So we'll see what happens.
Oh, well, you're only down a point. Yeah, I think you're good.